vigilante, all up in your hearsay, dropping crypto knowledge, making the ladies go cray cray. Baby, I'm old school and you the new jack. I've been rocking long Bitcoin since a hey long way back track 6 years ago. A friend of mine told me to say some Bitcoin rhymes, so I bought some Bitcoin around $3 that day. Now it's 2K on its way to 10K. Fuck you, Ben Bernanke. You two yelling, I see what you're selling. A debt-based Ponzi scheme, impoverishing like a felon. We see through your inflation, market manipulation. I pass hold your fiat script when I'm done ejaculating.
The question we now have to ask is if technologically it is possible to make an impenetrable device or system where the encryption is so strong that there's no key, there's no door at all, then what mechanisms do we have available to even do simple things like tax enforcement? Because
it's all the way up. It's all the way up. It's all the way up. All the way up. Straight to the moon, Bitcoin all the way up.
if in fact you can't crack that at all, government can't get in, then everybody's walking around with a Swiss bank account in their pocket.
Minding my own on my BTC. Rhymes with the homie, that's TDV. Got that LTC and that ETH. Watch me wreck this beat while we eat their cake. Can't block this chain, best in crypto stash. Yeah, we got big gains, that's that crypto cash. Politicians hate it, bankers wish they made it. We could starve the beast, stop the war machine maybe. Tried to call us crazy, very ineffectual. Fuck you, pay me, lazy intellectuals. Haha, yeah, we're laughing at these banks. Swiss accounts for all, no taxes for the state.
Yeah, it's all the way up. It's all the way up. It's all the way up. All the way up. Straight to the moon, Bitcoin all the way up.
Peter Schiff, rest in peace. Shout out to Mantis Beats. Free Knots. My homeboy Ed Bugos. And all my ANCAP crew worldwide.
Coming in hot, guys. Hope you guys are all fucking celebrating up there. We got a lot to talk about today. So much to talk about. Couple more minutes.
Everybody along the Ponzi ride. Yo. Bitcoin's back, alright. Yeah. Goddamn. Yeah. Oh my God, we're back again. Brothers, sisters, everybody buying. We're gonna pump the Ponzi, we'll show you how. Oh, yeah. Straight to the moon, get your ticket now.
Got my moon glasses on. Yeah.
Do you like rocket ships?
Who does it?
You wanna try this shit?
Yeah.
We got everything you need, you better buy some bitty now. Everybody.
See, Lambo didn't miss the show today.
Long live Ponzi, yeah. Everybody, long the Ponzi ride. Bitcoin's back, alright. Just keep buying. Alright. Never sell it. Now throw your ledger in the air. Wave it around like there's a million there. If you wanna pump, then don't pretend. I got a big green dildo, bring a friend. I mean, seriously.
Everybody. Yeah.
Long live Ponzi. Everybody. Long the Ponzi ride. Never short it. Bitcoin's back.
All right. Hey. That's right, guys. Hope you guys are ready. Hope you guys got your moon suits and you guys are ready to rock and roll. Anyone asking me right now, hey, you think I should buy Bitcoin now? You're probably a little late. Now, I'm not saying not to buy it. I'm always telling you to buy it. In fact, if I tell you not to buy it, you know, that should tell you something. But no, for anyone out there that's still new and has no idea what the hell's going on, Bitcoin has reached all-time highs. I know, basically there's only two groups of people out there. You know, the groups of people that are, you know, followers of Bitcoin, followers of cryptocurrency, followers, you know, of what's going on with that, and everybody else. And today's episode was actually going to be talking about something completely different. I decided to switch it up last minute, last second, and talk about, you know, Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Talk about the price and talk about what's going on with all that, because I feel like that's a lot more important at the moment, you know, to talk about that situation. And what is the situation? Well, you know, if you guys have been following this channel for a long time, if you guys have been watching me and listening to me for a while, you guys already know that I've been telling you guys to buy Bitcoin. I mean, since we were at $3,000. I mean, actually, I've been telling you to buy Bitcoin even before that. By the way, none of this is financial advice. You're listening to some guy on YouTube with a plastic horse that talks sometimes. All right, so just FYI. But anywho, back to what I was saying. Yeah, I mean, I've been telling you guys to jump on this for the longest time. And here we are. We're at literally $66,000 per coin. So if you would have bought Bitcoin, again, a lot of you guys didn't want to buy Bitcoin at $3,000 because you guys thought it was way too expensive. And here we are at $66,000. So right now, you know, a lot of people still want to buy, you know, Bitcoin at this price. And I'm telling them, yeah, sure, I guess. You know what I mean? It's still going to go high. It's still going to go higher. Eventually, Bitcoin, years from now, will get to $1 million a coin. Every time we go through this cycle, the more that becomes relevant and the more we realize, oh shit, that we're definitely heading in that direction. And so, yeah, that's what I see. I see right now it's, hold on, we gotta go. That better? Better, okay. We're definitely heading in that direction. Earlier this year, I never thought that we were even gonna get close to 100K. Right now, we're sitting at a 66K, and it's like, come on, you know what I mean? Like 100K is right there. 100, we can see it, we can smell it, we can feel it. And so now, what the real new estimations are, more to the $200,000. All right, so $200,000 per coin. So yeah, you know what I mean? 1 million. You know, as we approach $200,000 per coin and we get there, 1 million doesn't sound that crazy anymore. And to add insult to injury, you know, the reality is that what is making the price of Bitcoin, like other assets and like other things around the world, go up in price? Well, it's the printing of dollars. The more money they print, the more dollars they print, the more expensive everything gets, including Bitcoin. So if you keep your money in Bitcoin, for example, you'll be totally fine no matter how much inflation comes, because you'll be able to trade your Bitcoin, you know what I mean, for something that's, you know, at the very least the same value. You're not going to be overpaying, you know what I mean? Well, if you keep it in dollars, well, you already know, you know, if you got dollars and you keep making the same dollars over and over again, you already know you're not going to have, you know, everything's going to get more expensive, so you're going to be able to buy less and less every time. So by the way, for a lot of you guys out there that wonder why I don't make a lot of the Bitcoin crypto content so much on this channel, again, you're looking at the viewers right now. You know what I mean? There's not many people interested. That's why the title of the show is, bruh. The title of the show is that we reached all-time highs and no one's talking about it. The only ones talking about it are people that are invested in Bitcoin or are somehow, you know, they're, you know, whether investing money or investing time, but investing something within Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space. That's basically anyone that's watching or knows what's going on. And that's the funny part. Today I was actually going to talk about something else. We're going to leave that for next week. But yeah, next week, you know, we'll have the usual crowd up in here. You know, a bunch of people wanting to hear about the things I really have to say. No one really cares about Bitcoin. You know what I mean? In fact, by the time that everybody cares about Bitcoin, okay, then that's when you sell. So if in the future, in a few months, okay, in a few months from now, when I make an episode on Bitcoin, okay, and you see like 40 or 50 people in the chat, then you already know we're getting close to selling. All right, that's basically how it works, you know. Because look, I mean, once grandma, mom, and all these people know about it, that's too late. Look, I learned the hard way by myself. I should have fucking taken my own advice. Back when Dogecoin hit the high, you know, that crazy high. Let's put this on the screen. I think this will be better right now. But when Dogecoin hit, you know, the high back in March or whatever, you know what I mean, earlier this year, our Bitcoin was already kind of dumping. And why was that? Like I tell you guys, you know, when grandma, when mom, you know, when everybody on the street is talking about Bitcoin, that's when you sell. So I remember back then, literally grandma was fucking asking me about Dogecoin, not Bitcoin, but Dogecoin. And I did not sell. And if I would have sold at that moment when she fucking asked me about it, I would have been very, very happy. You know what I mean? Just like I'm sure a lot of you guys, you know what I mean? If you would have sold at the top. But that's okay. You know what I mean? This time around, we're heading in that same direction. Right now, no one really cares about this. You know what I mean? Eventually, they're going to start caring about it. Once we jump over that $100,000 threshold, or we get close to that $100,000 threshold, I think that's when people are really going to start getting excited. How quickly are we going to get there? Who the hell knows? But, you know, let's get into a little bit of history, because right now, for anyone that's new to the party, we are just repeating a very, very similar pattern that we saw back in 2017. So let's look at the charts. All right, why don't we? Let's look at the charts. Okay, so this is what the charts, okay, the chart looks like right now. Okay, as you guys can see, this is the beginning of the year. In fact, we're going, okay. That's the beginning of the year, okay? So that's basically, okay, we're there on the chart, on the screen. Okay, this is January, all right? We started January around 30,000, okay? All right, 30,000, all right? And we went all the way up to, whatever, what was it, 65, 64, whatever, around here, remember? And then we dumped. All right, this is like the whole Saturday Night Live, Elon Musk, Dogecoin fiasco, and then from there it was all hell. Boom, we dumped all the way down, and we got, look, yeah, we did get to 20. No, we got to 30. That's the lowest we actually got. All right, and then from there, I'm getting somewhere with this, guys. Give me a second, okay? But from there, we jumped all the way back up, and here we are today already. We've already surpassed, as you guys can see on the screen there, we've surpassed the all-time high. Look where we are, okay? And this is all the way from, this is this year alone, January to middle October, where we are right now, all right? Now let's look at the 2017 Bitcoin price. Now this is the 2017 price, and you're already looking at it, and you're saying, Jose, what the fuck are you doing here, bro? What are you showing me? This doesn't make any sense. This does not look like this chart. Well, like, yeah, of course. This is from January to middle October. This is from January to December. So let's move it back a little bit. All right. Let's move it back to October. All right. To middle October. All right. And look at that. Doesn't that look pretty the same now? In fact, let's put it side by side for a second. Let's get rid of this guy. All right. Just so you guys can see for 1 second. Okay. So there they are side by side. Okay. That's them side by side. In fact, let's zoom in a little bit more. All right, so that way you guys can look at that. Look, the more we zoom in, look how much closer it gets. Okay, so basically, it's not the same. It's not exactly the same. You know, don't be, but it's pretty similar. Okay, we had, a little bit of a run up. Okay, right here. All right. See, look, August, June, July, August, whatever. You know what I mean? Around kind of like almost the same time. This is a little earlier. This is a little later, but it doesn't matter. We ran up and we dumped, and then we fucking started running up again. Okay, so that's it. But again, this time is very different. I'm gonna explain to you why it's very different. Okay, but just so you guys can get an idea, all right, that how similar these charts are and where we're going with this. Okay, and we're gonna go through a little history, and we're gonna talk about this, all right, in a little bit more detail, so you guys can get a little bit more context. Okay, so. Back in 2017, when we were running up, okay, when we were, running all the way up, let's run it all right to the end of the year. In fact, let's just stick to the last few months of the year. Okay. This is December. Yeah. Okay. So look, by the time we got to December 15th, we dumped. December 16th, we were dumping. We got to the high on December 15th. All right, we almost got to 20K, and then boom, we dumped and we dumped and we kept dumping into 2018. Okay, but what caused that? What happened? First of all, what caused the parabolic movement upwards in 2017, and what caused the dump? Basically, the fact that for the first time ever, the government, the SEC, whatever, the people that are in the Wall Streets there, they said, hey, you guys can start trading futures. You guys can start trading this on the stock exchange to a certain extent. Hold on a second, man. I'm getting a phone call. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. So sorry. Jesus, man. People calling me at the stupidest times for the stupidest shit. Anyways. All right. So where was that? Where was I going with this? Okay, so yeah. So the Bitcoin price. So what happened was that why we ran up is because we got the news that, we could start trading Bitcoin outside of the exchanges, outside of places like Binance and places like that, you feel me? Outside of all these exchanges. What's going on? What's going on today? See, geez, everything's like all wacky. Anyways, maybe I'm talking too much about Bitcoin. I'm getting all kinds of weird things happening all over the place. But anyways, so what ran it up was the fact that we got, this is 2017. We got the announcement, the news, the whatever, that we could start trading these, that, certain, I think hedge funds and groups out there, that trade on the stock market could start trading Bitcoin. They can start, accumulating Bitcoin, offering Bitcoin, whatever. I think futures more than anything else, whatever. All right. I'm not quite sure. The point is that basically, once we got to this point, of the all-time high, the people that were in power back then, I don't want to say specific names because I know how everybody's all polarized with politics and stuff these days. But basically, the people that were in charge back then in late 2017, they said, we cannot let Bitcoin keep running up. We need to put a stop to this. And they put a stop to this. They had this guy, Giancarlo, whatever his name was, that worked for the U.S. government, SEC, whatever. And long story short, he was put under, again, you guys can do your own research. I'm just a guy with a horse, okay? But anyways, they dumped it. They put the call, they put the order in, just like I got a call right now, and they said, dump it. And they dumped it, all right? They dumped it. In fact, look how they dumped it. They dumped it, all right? So much so that it got back all the way to $3,000, where I was telling you back then to buy, but nobody wanted to buy because everybody was scared. But that's okay. That's totally fine. We are where we are now. If you would have bought then, scared money makes no money. All right? That's simple as that. But anyways, so where we are now, now we're running up again. Why all of a sudden did we break, why all of a sudden did we start really going parabolic? Remember, we were kind of stuck in a little bit of a range for a little bit there. Why did we start going parabolic? Well, because they announced again, they simply announced again, hey, we are now going to offer ETFs, so you can trade futures. In fact, not only are we going to be offering ETFs, but we're also going to be offering the ability for you to trade spot Bitcoin. So people now, are going to be able to trade Bitcoin on spot price. What is spot price? This is spot price. Not futures or anything like that, but no, the price that it is at the moment. And so, yeah, man, at the end of the day, right now, that news with a culmination, okay? Because now let's go back a little bit, all right? Let's go back... Let's go back from 2019 going forward. Okay, remember, guys, before the whole virus situation, all right, before that whole thing just destroyed the economy and everything, went off with all that, we started, as soon as the whole virus situation happened, we started kind of running up a little bit. All right, then the economy dumped. You remember, as soon as they closed everything down, when they closed the economy, they did all that right after the virus, was first kind of like officially announced or whatever. Back in, again, May, where is it? January, February, March, April, May of May of, where the hell were we? Jesus, hold on a second. There we go. Okay. So you got to remember, all right, we were, going through 2020, all right, and, they closed, everything was no bueno, no good, and Bitcoin did not move. Bitcoin stayed around the 9,000 to 11,000 range or whatever. And then all of a sudden, they started printing money and sending money to the people, and guess what? As soon as they started sending money to the people, you know what I mean? You look at that. Look at the price. Look at the price just fucking skyrocket, okay? And then we had the whole similar situation that we had in 2017, all right, where they literally called in. Remember, we got the price manipulated upwards. There's a lot of people buying, but also, a lot of, other, entities out there buying, pumping the price up, and boom, dumping it all the way down, all right? Dumping it down to shake everybody out, get everybody out of it. Basically, look, man, at the end of the day, I'm not here to talk about price. I'm not here to talk about, the pumpamentals. That's not my department. My department is to basically tell you, how this technology is going to change the world and how it's changing the world and has changed the world. Because ever since, we've really, this whole thing has really become a thing, like a more thing of a popular culture type of thing back in 2017 going forward. Things have changed dramatically. And in the ability for this technology to change the world. From back then, in 2017, 2018, it was still a thought that maybe countries or maybe people in underdeveloped countries could really use this technology to get out of poverty, to get out of U.S. sanctions, to get around the dollar. And most people thought that was a crazy thought. Fast forward to today, you're seeing countries like Venezuela, El Salvador, all over Africa, all over India, all over Latin America, all over the world, that people are using Bitcoin to not just circumvent the dollar, but just circumvent the whole fucking system to begin with, all right? And just create their own system, all right? We are seeing now, this technology is now giving the ability for people to start tokenizing themselves. Start creating these things called NFTs. Start doing all of these things that I and others at one time were talking about, but we're still so early that people thought we were fucking crazy. And a lot of people still think that all this shit is pretty crazy. But it's not, because we're now, again, it's basically just like the same people that thought the internet was crazy 25 years ago, 30 years ago. All right, and look where we are now. I remember when I first saw the internet and I started really using the internet back in the 90s. I was like, man, I know one day we're gonna get to this. What I'm doing now, basically live streaming, talking to a bunch of people, having a bunch of things, just all this, everything that's going on now. I knew one day we were gonna get there, and here we are. A lot of people, they're still trying to figure out how we got here. But I knew we were gonna get here back then. And so that's why even now, as I've been seeing all this technology, seeing all the crazy shit that's going on, I'm like, oh wow, this is really gonna happen. This is really happening. Look, man, right now the people that are in power, all right, these same people that are printing all this money, these same people that are making everything you do illegal, the same people that are forcing you to take some sort of jab or whatever the fuck. Listen, man, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're losing control. They are literally, the whole thing is falling apart. Basically, anyone that's running away from that situation is running away from a crumbling building. You guys know that. And that's it. But that's basically it. But it's the same as it ever was. And Bitcoin is a tool in which we are going to be using going forward in order, to get away from this. Because once the whole system crashes, all right, and they're trying to reestablish a new dollar, a new system, a new world reserve currency, people are going to be given the option to use a decentralized technology with no owners or use the same centralized technology that the government is forcing. And again, when the system crumbles, the government is not going to have anything to sell you. All right. Right now, the government can still sell you all these things. Hey, you depend on us. You need us. You need us. You know what I mean? If you don't have the government, if you don't have us, if you don't whatever, we control everything, and you're fucked. But as everything gets fucked, and people they don't have a choice but to take care of themselves and rely less on government because, well, government isn't there doing anything for them. Well, more and more people are going to start again using these things and using other things. Like, for example, Bitcoin or any kind of crypto, all right, is freedom. And like Richard Everett just said, and why is that freedom? Just like right now, if you grow your own food, you got freedom. You're not depending on the supply chain. You're not depending on Walmart or your grocery store or whatever. No, you grow your own food. If you got chickens, you got your own food. You get what I'm saying? And it's the same thing. If you got your own money, if you got the ability to have your own digital money and create your own, wealth, like a lot of people are doing with all kinds of things, whether it's NFTs, creating other coins, creating solutions for people that need the solution, and I can go on and on with this technology. If you're in that department, you're good to go. But if you are depending more and more on the government each and every day, or more and more on the corporations or whatever, you're fucked. You're fucked. You might as well be you literally are digging your own grave. So, sure, the best time to buy Bitcoin was at $3,000. The second best time was at $10,000. The third best time was at, $30,000, The fourth best time was a little while ago when we were at, we dumped to like 28, 29. The fifth best time was a couple weeks ago when we were still like at 40, 50. The sixth best time, around now. You get what I'm saying? But again, you buy now, you're probably going to end up losing money for a while until you gain money. That's what I'm saying. Most people don't buy into Bitcoin because they always immediately lose money. You know what I mean? And they want to be making money right off the bat. But that's not how these things work. It's like any other investment. If you're investing in yourself, and if you're investing in anything out there, it takes time. If you're growing a plant and you're investing in growing a plant, it's going to take time. One way or the other, you're gonna have a lot of losses. You're probably like me. I'm trying to grow some things out here, and it's hit or miss. You know what I mean? Sometimes they grow, sometimes they don't. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of time and investment that I'm putting into it in order to learn how to get this. The more I do it, the more seeds will come out. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of intangibles that I cannot, control. You feel me? But the more you educate yourself on all this stuff, the better chance you're going to have in the long run. And that's it. And that's all you can do. So right now, even if you're buying Bitcoin at $66,000, all right, and it dumps to $50,000, and you're like, oh my God, I lost like a third of the money that I put in it or whatever, and you sell, well, you're literally losing money. But if you buy right now, knowing that we're going to get to not just 200K, but probably $1 million, and you never sell, maybe you're going to sell when we get to $1 million, well, then you're not really losing. You know what I mean? You're not losing. You bought a 64, all right? You bought a 66,000, all right? And it gets to $1 million, you're not losing. It's just like someone that bought at $1,000, okay? There's a lot of people that bought the high back in the day, back in 2015, 20, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? 2014, whatever. People bought the high back then that was $1,000, and then immediately it dumped to $400, and they're like, oh my God, what did I do? For those people that kept their coins, they bought at the high at $1,000 back then, all right, and they waited all the way till they got to 2017, they went from $1,000 to $20,000. And they dumped all the way down to the lowest, and it's $3,000. So again, that $1,000 is still worth $3,000. And now that $1,000 that they still would have held on to, it's now worth $66,000. And this is going to dump again. My estimation is that we're going to run up all the way to $200,000, and we're going to dump to $20,000. You feel me? But again, even if you bought that $1,000 worth of Bitcoin and you ran it all the way to 200, all right, you did not sell. You let it dump all the way to 20. You still got 20 out of that $1,000 you initially put in there. You feel me? So That's basically it. And why has that happened? It's all because of inflation. It's basically all inflation. You know what I mean? And is the inflation going to get any better? No, it's not. No, it's not. I mean, everyone is telling you, the government entities, all these motherfuckers are literally saying it's going to get worse. It's going to get more expensive. You better get used to it. You better stop crying. You better stop being a little bitch. You better get used to paying more. You better get used to making less. In fact, maybe that's why we should raise a minimum wage to $20 an hour, so that way we can charge you $20 for a Big Mac and we can move on and whatever. So by the time that we're getting to, $25 an hour to work at McDonald's, and it's $20, all right, to buy a Big Mac, all right, which we're getting there really quickly, you can now see Bitcoin being $1 million. You know what I mean? Because it's all going up. You know what I mean? And why is it going up? Because they keep printing. And they're not going to stop printing. They're not stopping. They cannot stop. And it's not even about printing anymore, because we're past that. We're past the printing. You already know they're going to print into oblivion. They're not stopping that anytime soon. We're past the printing. Where we are now, we're in that moment in time, okay, in which all the dollars that are all around the world, they're coming back home to roost, okay? And we've talked about this. In fact, I'm going to see if I can find it while we're talking about it, because I'm going to see if I can play a little video so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Hold on a second. But yeah, guys, you know what I mean? Right now, we're in a moment in time. We're in that moment in time in which all these dollars are coming back home because nobody wants them. All these dollars that basically, they are the world. Remember, the U.S. dollar is a world reserve currency. And these dollars that are all around the world right now, the reason that they're all around the world is because, these dollars, that is what was being held as wealth. That is what was being recognized as not just wealth, but recognized as actual money, anything that's worth anything. And so nobody has gold or silver. They're changing their tune now. But basically, the whole thing with the gold and silver, that's really what money was. And that's how people kept their wealth. But for the longest time, a lot of, for decades, ever since the petrodollar, all these countries have been, holding their wealth and holding their savings, for lack of a better description, in U.S. dollars. But now these U.S. dollars are becoming worthless. And they're becoming even more worthless as we print them into oblivion. So finally, all of these dollars are finally coming home to roost. I'm trying to see if I can find... I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. So much information to look through here. But all those dollars are coming home. And there's nothing anyone can do about them. And, we're about to hit hyperinflation, guys, and it's not going to be pretty. There's no money velocity. There's no nothing. So basically what they're doing with all these dollars that are coming back home to the U.S. is that they're getting those dollars and they're making these dollars, they're putting them into the stock market. Because if they put all these dollars into the economy, then it's going to hyperinflate things even more. So, I mean, yeah, I think, okay, here we are. I mean, we've already seen some of this, all right? So let me show you where we are now.
The day of reckoning will before the Christ.
All right, here we are. This is where we are now. So let me play this for you guys for 1 second.
Crisis of 2008. And so in here, I refer to Ben Bernanke, but I'm going to change that to just the Federal Reserve or central banks for you right now. So, the day of reckoning will come when millions of baby boomers reach the age where they have to take mandatory distributions from their IRAs. As they find that the investments they were counting on for their retirement, their homes and their IRAs full of mutual funds, have actually lost value, that the amount of stuff that they can buy from the proceeds if they sell their home is actually less than when they bought their home. And as they realize that their dream of a comfortable retirement was just that, a dream, all those boomers will get scared and pull in their horns. They will stop spending. They will start selling off their assets, and the greatest stock market crash in history will unfold as more and more boomers panic and sell. I believe this will also be accompanied by the greatest real estate crash the world has ever known. This perfect storm of bankruptcies and foreclosures will cause the currency supply to contract as the giant credit bubble pops, and all those big spenders become big savers. When people save their currency, it stops circulating. The economic engine runs out of oil, and the whole thing locks up. This is every central banker's worst nightmare. This is real deflation, and the world's central bankers are about to discover that.
By the way, so this is what happened, okay? This is exactly what happened when the virus hit, okay? So just FYI, so we're kind of going through a little bit of history. This was in 2016, okay? And he was predicting this because, again, it's just history. It was bound to happen at some point. So he was already talking about this in 2016, okay, guys? Just FYI, all right? And in 2016, he said at one point we're going to get to a moment in time in which everything is going to freeze. And it did. And the reality is that normally this happens kind of just naturally. But this time around, they did it on purpose. It wasn't natural. They faked it. They forced it. How did they force it? Well, when they started the whole virus situation, they froze the world economy, all right, and then declared the Great Reset, all right? So when that happened, then that's when they started the helicopter money, all right, which is all the money that they've been sending people, whether it's through PPP, unemployment, stimulus checks, all the parents getting money now, and it's just going to continue. Universal basic income is coming, all this stuff, okay? So this is what's coming, guys. What's already happened, what we're dealing with right now, and where we're going. And again, this is why Bitcoin is important, okay? It's a way to protect yourself from this insanity, all right?
The true scale of the horrors of a credit bubble implosion. When this happens, the Federal Reserve will once again send out its armada of money bomb dropping helicopters, but this time something will be different. Something will have gone horribly wrong. The bombs will have been defused.
Yeah, actually, sorry. Let me. I completely forgot. Remember, this is a huge series for you guys. I would recommend that you guys watch the whole series. It's many episodes. This is episode 7. Okay, so he already talked in a previous episode about the money, helicopter money, the money dropped. We already went through that. This is what's going to happen now. Okay, what's going to happen now? Again, remember, right now, the world is freezing up again, but this time, the supply chain is freezing up. The credit, okay, the credit lines are freezing up. Remember, that's why I love Mexico, where I live now. It's cash. It's a cash society. Fuck all that credit shit. You know what I mean? Anyone depending on the system is gonna get fucked. But anyway, so this is what's coming now. Okay, when the system finally freezes and locks up, okay, the supply chain, the whole thing just locks up. Then this is the next thing that's going to happen, and you're going to see, they're going to try, remember, universal basic income, they're going to try to stimulate the economy by giving people money to stay home and do nothing, and they just want the economy to continue moving. Again, how if nobody's moving? They can't. It can't happen. It's impossible. You know what I mean? So,
credit bubble implosion. When this happens, the Federal Reserve will once again send out its armada of money bomb dropping helicopters, but this time something will be different. Something will have gone horribly wrong. The bombs will have been defused. The Fed will try pumping the banking sector by buying up every kind of debt they can get their hands on, but to no avail. They will go to the extraordinary measures that they had said they were prepared to go to. They will buy every mortgage.
By the way, they are doing this right now. They are literally already doing this, okay? Remember, this is not like 100% accurate. You know what I mean? It's like 90% accurate. And these people do this in different orders, okay? But this is where it now is already happening. It's been happening. This was happening. The purchasing of debt, the purchasing of everything, the purchasing of everything has been happening since before the virus. This was already happening in 2019. I don't know if you guys remember, but we'll go through that. You know what I mean? Like, but again, that was already happening. Okay, they just had to, it's the spigot, the water spigot is at full blast right now, all pressure.
Back security and any other type of debt that panicky investors and banks are trying to sell, but nothing good will come of it. They will start buying stocks to buoy the stock market, but retail sales will continue to plunge. They will try broad-based tax cuts, but it won't jumpstart the economy. They will work with foreign central banks to buy each other's debt, but the global economy will continue to plummet. People will finally see through the veil. They will see what Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Lion, and the Tin Man saw, that the Wizard of Oz is really just some dopey old guy frantically pulling levers. Remember when we talked about how during World War I, the Germans increased their currency supply by 400%, yet there was no price inflation because of the public's anxiety over the war and the uncertainty of their future? Imagine the anxiety 75 million baby boomers will feel as they approach retirement, only to find their homes and their mutual funds are now worth next to nothing. The nest egg, ladies and gentlemen, has just cracked. When they get their tax rebates, are they going to buy that new big screen TV and the latest cell phone? I think not. I think they're going to save every dime they can get their hands on, just like in Germany during the war.
Yes, and not just that, but again, this is where they're going to be putting it into things like Bitcoin, gold, and silver. People are learning. They're, figuring it out. Thank God. Well, and again, whoever doesn't figure it out, they're going to be really fucked.
The war. But there will be a point at which a threshold is reached. For each income class, it will be different. It will be the point where they feel that they've finally got enough saved for retirement. For some, it will be $100,000. For others, it will be $1 million. And for others still, it will be $10 million. The Fed knows there is a point where they'll finally feel safe enough to replace that aging computer and maybe get that new TV. At this point, the boys at the Fed will buy enough government debt to fund tax rebates for all the taxes in the previous year, but still, nobody will buy that new car. The threshold the Fed is looking for will not be reached. Then, in not-so-quiet desperation, the Fed will say, "Screw the helicopters, send in the bombers." And as the shadow of millions of stealth currency bombers darken the skies, currency will begin to fall like rain in the desert. As Joe Sixpack and John Q get tax rebate checks in the mail for all the taxes they paid during their entire lifetimes, fear will be temporarily alleviated and some of that currency will come out of hiding, just as in Weimar Germany. Prices will rise quickly and dramatically as all that stored up currency energy is released. In a panic, the Fed will call back the bombers, but it will be too late. There's nothing they will be able to do to stop it now because the hyperinflation will have already begun. The Dow will begin an invisible crash of epic proportions and gold prices will shoot to the moon. If you are wise enough to moor your boat in the safe harbors of gold and silver and other commodities, you will weather the storm. It won't be pretty, but at least you'll be safe. At this point, confidence in the currency will fall faster than it can be created. Cost of living increases for government employees, and the costs of all government projects, the subcontractors, the labor, the materials, will all skyrocket. And each time more currency is created to pay for the increases, the value of the currency will fall even faster. In times like that, governments have only two choices: shut down the government and all of its projects and services, send everybody home without pay, turn off the printing presses, and wait for the free market system to discover price levels that account for the quantity of the currency in the supply, or print the currency into oblivion. Governments have always chosen the latter. But the stored up energy of excess currency creation doesn't have to take place within the United States, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in the future. In fact,
Yeah, so this is what's happening now that I was trying to explain. So remember, we're actually, everything he explained, it seems like we're just going through it right now. Because remember, they called the bombers, okay? That's when they were sending even more money out. And then now they're saying, oh shit, we fucked up. We got to bring it all back. You know what I mean? And remember now, what are they doing? Now they're saying we're going to be taxing every $600 transaction. Now they're adding even more. Now they're coming after, even more of your shit. You know what I mean? So they called it back and they reversed it again, just like it kind of said there. And now we're at the part where I was telling you, now all this money that's everywhere around the world is going to start coming back home.
In fact, there is an abundance of stored up currency just waiting to be released right now. As I mentioned earlier, all the dollars we sent overseas to other countries to buy their goods and services are now sitting in their bank accounts, just waiting to be spent. Eventually, the world economy will lose faith in the US dollar and will want to dump it by buying up goods. And as all those dollars come flooding back into the US, it will, of course, cause the prices of those goods and services to rise, and could, and probably will, trigger a scenario much like the one I have just finished describing. Throughout history, economists have suffered from what I like to call...
Exactly. And look, that's what's really going to start making the price really go up, is as people, the whole world is purchasing, these products. Look, that's why, it makes a lot of sense now why they stopped the supply chain in order for people not to be able to really use that money. Because think about it, all of a sudden, all these people have all this money now, all around the world. They're trying to bring it back to the US. Like, for example, let's just say Turkey. Turkey has a lot of US dollars in its reserves, knowing that they don't want that money. And they say, you know what? I would rather buy missiles or tanks or steel or wood, or I don't know, all of these things that I'm gonna need, that we do need, that we should have, that we might as well just trade these fucking dollars that are worth nothing for these other things that are worth something. At some point they're gonna definitely more, so that's what they're, and so then as they send these dollars to America to bring back all of these, guns, weapons, steel, machinery, whatever. Well, they can't bring anything back because, the ships, the supply chains of this. But I think, you know what? Honestly, the supply chain situation is only affecting ships coming into the USA. And so the opposite, In fact, what I just said is probably happening, meaning that they're sending their fucking money over here, and the only one really buying our products are people abroad and not Americans. That's why they're not making it available to Americans, and they're blaming it more on inflation. Inflation is a major part of it, but at the same time, it's like, what are you complaining about the price if you can't buy it anyway? It's not on the store shelves. In fact, it's not on the store shelves, so you're not seeing the price increase. You're not seeing a new price. You feel me? So there's a lot of funny business going on, that's for sure. So, I don't know. I think that, right now, that's why when you're seeing things like the price of Bitcoin, skyrocket, when you're seeing, other things, happening in the system, it's like, what are you going to do? That's why, look, I have not been talking about Bitcoin and crypto on this channel for a while. I was not going to do that today. Today, I was going to talk about something completely different. In fact, I was talking about censorship. I'm gonna wait on that for next week because I wanted really to talk about that. But I feel like this is more urgent, more important, to talk about at the moment because I'm sure some people are gonna be interested. And again, this is something that just happened now. But at the end of the day, this is something that I've been tired of talking about. Nobody listens. It doesn't really matter anymore to me. I'd rather talk about other more interesting things to me, that I think that you guys could also find some value in, and that's it. If you guys want to hear more on this, you guys can check out my other videos on this subject. But at the end of the day, man, it's all about the technology, and right now we're going through a major change in human history. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about the censorship now, and just so you can get an idea of what the next episode was about for anyone out there viewing this right now. You get a little special members only tip thing. So look, a lot of people out there are complaining and constantly thinking that we're living in the worst age, for information, that, all this censorship is happening everywhere. And so as they censor me or you from YouTube, or censor you from Facebook, or censor, that basically they're changing the narrative to the point where, like they're controlling the information and controlling the knowledge. Look, guys, that's not how it is, all right? Basically, the internet is open, it's wide, and if you want to find it, you'll get it. You'll find it, There's a million websites, deep web, 14chan, you name it. You can go out there and find it, and then some, okay? In fact, we're living in a time of enlightenment, okay? More than anything else, right now, almost everybody knows something about something, you know what I mean? It's not so crazy to even talk about certain subjects anymore. In fact, it's the other way around, And so, we're living in a point in human history now in which everybody is waking the fuck up, and everybody is, getting access, or getting, how do I say this? What's the word? They're getting some exposure, okay, to all of this information. And the more they censor it, the more the people want to find it, and they will. And that's where we're kind of at now. In other points in human history, it was not like this. It was not like this at all. In fact, ever since the internet, we have had the Pandora box open, and information is just there, and it's never gone. Okay, but before that, censorship was at all-time highs. It was just all-time highs, you know what I mean? Why? Because, we only had a few places where we could really get information, a few channels on TV, a few newspapers, a few, publications here and there that we know now today that they're all bought and paid for propaganda with a certain entity above them, all right? And now nobody looks at CNN for the most part. Nobody really cares what National Geographic has to say about this political issue. You get what I'm saying? Nobody cares about, all these things now. Now all of a sudden people are questioning more and more and more. And whatever they believe, it doesn't matter. They are all believing something else that is not the mainstream narrative. We have a group of people that are listening to the mainstream narrative, but for the most part, everybody is some sort of fringe something. And so we're literally at the same point in time after, 500 years ago, after the printing press was created, and all of a sudden it started freeing people because it gave them access to the printing press and to be able to spread knowledge everywhere. But then so much knowledge was spread, then we had this crazy debacle with all these religions, to the point where we had like fucking, a zillion religions doing all kinds of fanatical things. But that's another story for another day. But we are heading in that direction. And at the end of the day, the printing press freed us until 500 years later, it started imprisoning us again. So it's the same thing with this technology. This technology has the ability to imprison us and has the ability to free us. But right now, at the birth of it, we can be free from it, okay? They are going to try to use this Bitcoin crypto technology. And, this is one of the technologies being born out of the internet. But anyways, they're going to try and use this technology, just like they use the internet, to try to keep you stuck in a little mini prison in this giant field. Right now, everyone that's stuck in Facebook or stuck on YouTube or stuck or whatever, and they're like, oh my God, there's no alternatives. You're choosing to be there. There's a zillion alternatives to everything. So it's the same thing with the crypto. All crypto's doing, Bitcoin probably was created by the government, and it probably is some horrible fucking thing. But it doesn't fucking matter, because by the creation of that, they literally created the ability for all of us now to fucking just make our own money and do whatever the fuck we want and just go outside the system and never have to use them again. You feel me? So that's the thing. Just like the internet, we can be stupid enough to just listen to all the news on CNN.com and Facebook.com. But anyone out there that wants real information, you can just go on the internets, okay? Find it. You might have to go into the deep web if you're curious enough, and it's there. It's all there. It's beyond there. You get what I'm saying? And they can't stop it. They can't shut it. The only thing they can do is shut the whole thing down, and they're not going to do that. You feel me? And even if they do, we're so close already, if not already there. Okay, well, we got the technology, from various individuals like Elon Musk and others, where they're putting satellites up in the air. We got solar power. We got all this shit that they can shut the fucking grid up. and we don't give a fuck. We can still access the motherfucking grid. You know what I mean? And so that's the same thing with this Bitcoin. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, but what if they shut the grid off? And how are we going to use it or access it or this or that? I'm like, yeah, that's a real possibility. That's a whatever. But once we rebuild, if you have faith in humanity that we're going to be able to rebuild and access all this again, you're going to access it no matter what. It's still there. And again, at the same time, if we don't, well, that's why you got your gold and your motherfucking silver. You know what I mean? Again, with the Hail Mary. And that's it. And you protect yourself in other ways. All right? So, I mean, crypto is just a small piece of the puzzle. Remember, what Bitcoin and crypto represent, this is the money, the future money, the money of the internet. We are in the internet age. Just like back in the day, we had we had the printing press, and the printing press also gave us paper money. We already had paper money before the printing press, okay? The money was in silver or gold, and Chinese invented paper money, but as you know, it was very difficult to make and very expensive and very whatever. All of a sudden, we got the printing press, and we were able to print our own money. All kinds of people all over the fucking world in small little villages, they had a little printing press and they had their own little money there, and they didn't need access to gold or silver. You feel me? And so they were free. And free financially and free whatever. They didn't have to, whatever. They would pay the taxes to the king in gold and silver, for example, but they weren't poor anymore because all of a sudden they had their own little system of paper money that it was enough for them to fucking survive and function. And I could go on and on. And it's the same thing, man. We're living in a time of enlightenment. And so that's why I'm bringing up a little bit of the whole censorship thing now, because that's next episode, next live stream, we're going to be talking more on that. And as to, again, we're not censored. I don't give a fuck what they say. Sure, they can censor you here and there, and they try and whatever, but there is zero censorship going on if you really want to look at it, because all the information is out there. It's like you censor one thing, and it's like multiplies like gremlins into like, you know what I mean? It's just constantly happening. So, that's why, that's why we're fucking living in a beautiful time. And so it's the same thing with crypto. They cannot censor crypto. They cannot ban Bitcoin. They cannot ban any of these fucking things. If they can't ban things like prostitution and drugs, how the fuck are they going to ban this? They can try. And they're going to try. They're going to attack it. Listen, they're waiting. I think that the real plan is that what they really want to do is just get everybody used to and ready to have, to use the digital crypto money. Because, by the way, everybody already uses digital money. If you have a phone app with your bank and you bank through your phone, it's all digital. Anything that is not paper money. So unless you use cash 100% of the time, all right. So unless you're using this this paper, unless you're using this 100% of the time, you use digital money already. So don't get it twisted. Crypto is just the next, whatever. And then again, they're trying to get everyone used to using crypto and Bitcoin and all that bullshit. And then eventually they're gonna say, oh, you know what? Well, don't use that no more. That's illegal. That's bad. That's this. That's that. Start using FedCoin. Start using this government issue FedCoin. And they're trying to do all this in a smooth transition, okay, without having the economy collapse. But they cannot do that. It is impossible. So when the economy collapses, they're going to give us an option. Hey, we got the government money, government crypto, or we got all the other cryptos, and people are just going to choose all the other cryptos. I'm sure people will use and go and have some Fed coins. Again, what they're going to do is like, hey, if you want your universal basic income, you have to use, it has to be the Fed coin. And you can't trade the Fed coin for Bitcoin. You have to use the Fed coin. And the Fed coin is used here and there. But it's okay. They can't outright ban everything else. Even if they do, they won't be able to stop its access or use. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, we're living in a beautiful time, guys. It's a major change, a major transition that we're living through. And I suggest that you stop. If you're not educated, keep educating yourself, okay? And just know that 5 years ago, explaining Bitcoin was so hard because nobody had a real use case in which it was used, okay? I had a friend of mine like that, I haven't seen in a while. He came by, we were visiting, whatever, we're talking, and he asked me about the whole Bitcoin thing. And he asked me again. He basically goes, back years ago when he first asked me, I couldn't explain it. And now when people ask me about Bitcoin, it's just so easy to explain, because you basically just show people real world use cases and then just go backwards from there. Like I said, look at El Salvador. That is such an amazing situation there. All right. Basically what happened in El Salvador, for anyone that doesn't know, really quick, again, easy way to explain this. Okay. El Salvador had the Salvadorian peso. They had their own currency. But that currency got hyperinflated and basically became worthless. And they had no choice but to adopt and use the US dollar. Now, again, using the US dollar in a country like the US or any other country, it's okay because everything is priced in dollars and it's a dollar economy. But when you're in El Salvador and things are priced in El Salvador prices, and all of a sudden you only have the dollar, well, guess what? Now things start becoming dollar prices, but you're only earning El Salvador's fucking salary. So all of a sudden it was a problem and people got poorer. It was worse. So then all of a sudden this new president said, hey, how about we just use this other currency called Bitcoin and have people use this currency instead of the dollar, so that people can price things in pesos and then have, not have that problem anymore of having to price it in dollars, because, well, you can't break a dollar. You get what I'm saying? But when you go to El Salvador or Mexico, whatever, there's many things that you use on a daily basis that are like 50 cents, 25 cents, 10 cents, so things like that. And so all of a sudden now, because of this technology, it's a little complicated. I'm not going to get into it, but El Salvador bought a bunch of Bitcoin, has a bank, filled with Bitcoin, and now they integrated all the people that want to be on the system to, use a special system in which now they can take transactions of 10 cents, 25 cents, whatever, you get what I'm saying, and then function on the digital economy and be away from the dollar. And all of a sudden, it's changed everything. When Bitcoin... when El Salvador announced that they were going to allow the people to use Bitcoin, right? And immediately after that, they dumped the price. A lot of people were like, oh my God, the poor people in El Salvador, blah, blah, blah. And like, no, man, the poor people what? You get what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't matter to them. Because the thing is that at the end of the day, what Bitcoin is used over there is just as a medium of transfer more than anything else. Most people that are living in third world countries, all right, they're not stupid. They don't trust the banks. They don't trust anybody. So they keep most of their money and savings in things like silver or in other hard assets. So most people that have any kind of savings in El Salvador are definitely, if they're keeping it in anything, it would maybe be dollars. But that's it. You get what I'm saying? And nobody had that much raw access to Bitcoin just yet. So if anything, what happened with that dump is helped El Salvador, so they could buy the dip, you know what I mean? Because then they were starting to function and use it, when it dumped, and now, what price was that at? I don't know if anyone can help me, if anyone can tell me what the dump was after that. And now when people in El Salvador were getting and accessing and using Bitcoin at that price of the dump till now, I mean, most El Salvadorians now are probably very happy, going to have a very happy Christmas. They're going to have a very, very happy, you get what I'm saying? And it's only because instead of using the dollar and only the dollar that keeps inflating and thus making everything around them more expensive, they're using an item that is now going to be a hedge against this said dollar. And as everything increases, well, so will that Bitcoin. In fact, what's really going to happen is that Bitcoin that they have and they're using is going to increase in price, and the items like the bananas, the paper, the whatever the fuck they're buying there is probably going to remain the same or gradually get cheaper. So anyways, so yeah, man, you know what I mean? So yeah, so that was a dump. It was a 29. Yeah, so I mean, oh, look at that. We got Jorge, all right? We got a someone living in El Salvador, family member out there. What's up? Shout out to you. First comment ever from him. I know you speak English, okay? So we speaking English. Okay? Saludos, un abrazo, te quiero. Anyways, all right, so he says, el 70% of el pueblo de Salvador no tienen acceso a bank. Exactly. Look, this is something I've been talking about forever. You know what I mean? Again, you know, all these people that are third world country, they need to get on the grid. Like, how do I say? Not on the grid. They need to get on the internet grid. In order to get on the internet grid, you know, they have two choices. You know, A, use the banks that they don't trust, so that's why they don't get on that grid, or now use this new technology to get on the internet grid. And so now they have access to, and what do I mean? They have digital money. They can now, again, even if they're just selling fucking bananas, they can now have a digital presence. Because all these people that are selling bananas and selling fruits and they're just poor, trust me, they all have a phone, they're all on Facebook, they're all eating shit on their phone like you are back home and everywhere else, all right? But now they have the ability to function on the world stage, you know what I mean? Or at least function digitally within their own economy, within their own local system. So anyways, so yeah, he says 70% of El Salvador did not have a bank, and now most of those people have Bitcoin. So there you go. 70% of El Salvador was not banked. And then overnight, that same 70% is now banked through Bitcoin. They are their own bank. As opposed to giving their money to an entity they don't trust, now they keep their own money. They are their own bank. So look how much it's changed in El Salvador already. Wait until it starts happening around the world. Because again, as the dollar keeps losing its value and everything around the world keeps crumbling, well, again, you're going to see more and more countries like this taking full advantage of this. I've been talking about this shit for fucking years. So freaking years, man. How many fucking times I gotta fucking tell you? You know, so now this is so much fun to talk about because, well, it's fucking happening. In fact, I think what I'm gonna start doing is maybe going back through my old fucking videos and looking back at when I was saying this shit many years ago, because told you so. You know what I mean? But whatever, man. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? We're already here. I'm happy. You know, yes, you know, my faith in humanity, my optimism in humanity, my knowledge of humanity and the fact that we have the fucking ability, and when the push comes to shove, we fucking make it happen. Here we are. You know, so, you know, everyone loud, you know, applause for humanity. In fact, let me let's give it up. Let's give it up for humanity out there for you know, for not disappointing yet again. You know, yet again. I know humanity is very disappointing in a lot of places around the world, and you can see that. But again, like I've told you, it doesn't fucking matter. As the first world crumbles, the third world is here to save the fucking day. So shout out to them. And that's it, man. You know, that's where we are now, man. The third world is rising, man. And they got all the tools. And on top of that, as the world crumbles, they don't give a fuck. They're already in crumbles. You know what I mean? In fact, they're going this way. How about this? As the first world is going this way, they're going down. The third world is going up, and basically we're already kind of like getting really close to the point where they're about to meet in the middle, and they're looking at each other like that meme. You know, the people coming back from the people going to work at 6 a.m. and then the people coming back from the club at 6 a.m. Yeah, we're there, bro. And you already know you already know where you fall. All right. I don't know. You know, whatever. I am the one that's getting up to work at 6 a.m., all right? I'm in the third world, all right? We're fucking getting to work. A lot of you motherfuckers that are still in the first world and they don't know, and you guys don't know what to do. And I'm not talking about you guys specifically listening to this podcast or show at the moment. I'm talking about everyone else, the zombies out there. You already know. These zombies are going straight fucking down. You know what I mean? Straight down all the way. You know, no chaser. Straight, no chaser. So yeah, man, you know what I mean? Like, this is a beautiful fucking time, and we should all be, you know, very happy, you know, that if you invested in yourself, invested in the future, invested in humanity, then you're doing pretty happy. You're doing pretty fucking well right now. You know what I mean? So, and that's where we're at. So, I honestly think that, you know, this is only the beginning. I think that we're gonna run up all the way to 200K. I don't know. I've been wrong many times. I have no idea. I'm just guessing here. I know that the next stop, if you're gonna look at the technical analysis, you know, the people that draw the triangles and all that shit on the charts here. You know, a lot of these people, you know, they've been saying, you know, that yeah, the next stop is like around 88K. We're definitely nowhere on our way to 100K. Probably going to get to 200K when it's all said and done. And when we get to $200,000 per Bitcoin, it's going to dump. all right? And once it dumps, who knows? I say 20K, because that sounds pretty reasonable to me from the past, you know, seeing what's already happened, and that's it. And then we're gonna just climb. We're gonna climb, you know what I mean? Climb again until we get to $1 million. We're gonna go from $20,000 all the way to $1 million this time. So, because remember, right now we're at 66, but we started this, all right, at 3,000. If you really want to, really want, that was bottom. It was 3,500 or some shit like that. It was a little bit on, it was like 3,500, 4,000. All right, that was when we first started this whole fucking thing, and look where we are now. All right, so again, we're gonna run up all the way to 200, dump, and then we're gonna fucking, you know what I mean? We're gonna fucking pick it back up at 20K. So it doesn't matter what you bought it at, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, it's all, if you're buying this and holding it for long-term investment, the long run, then it doesn't really matter what you buy it at, all right? But I would not wait to 200K, because if you buy it at 200K, bro, you're gonna be waiting a lot of years. All right, you're gonna be waiting a lot of years by the time you get past 200K on your way to $1 million again. All right, so don't buy at 200K. Don't be that guy. But again, there's gonna be people buying at 200K, because the people that are selling at 200K, they gotta sell it to somebody. So, bruh, it's the same as it ever was. No, there you go. See, I haven't listened to Max Kaiser in a while. You know, he's a big Bitcoin maximalist, great dude, you know. But yeah, Bitcoin, 200K, baby. Yeah, so he says it. A lot of people are saying it. And again, it's not that far out of reach now, the prices we're at now. And we're going to probably hit 200K soon, man, you know. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, I'm ready for the ride, man. In fact, let me play a little, we gotta play a little music. Let's do a little dancing and a little music here. Anyone have any questions? Anyone want to talk about anything in particular? Let me know, all right? We're gonna just open it up to the questions. So anyways, hey, real quick, okay, I got a few comments there. Let's read them real quick. So Blueberry's asking me, bullion or gold coins? Well, I would stick with bullion coins. You know, what do I mean? Like, you know, if I like coins, all right? I'm a big fan of coins, all right? But bullion, you know, as well, like in like bars or whatever is great too. Don't go too big. I'm a big guy of silver. I love silver. Silver and gold are both great. I love silver. Sorry, I'm more of a fan of silver. But at the end of the day, don't spend money on, you know, like a really expensive gold coin. Like, what do I mean? Okay, let's just stick with silver so it's easier to price. You should be buying this at spot, okay? Whatever the fuck spot price is. Let's say the price of silver is 25. They're probably going to be asking like a few bucks over spot. So you don't, if the price of silver is $25, don't pay more than 28, 30 tops. That's it. Okay, and that fee is the fee to the guy that sold it to you, because you're really just buying this. But if you know the value of this, you'll buy this at whatever the fuck price. Okay. Now, don't be buying that same $25, $30 coin for $50, $60, $70 Okay, only because it's like, oh, it's a special coin with a special stamp and a special this and a special print because most of the time when the reason that the reason you really have this is so when the shit hits the fan, you can melt this and survive, all right, or sell this and survive. At that point, nobody's gonna give a fuck, okay, what kind of a special coin you got. All they care about is the silver. How much silver is in here? What silver? That's it. So that's why stick with, what anything that's you go to the dealer and you ask him, what do you have around spot price? What do you have that's close to spot? All right, or over spot, a few bucks over spot, and then they'll bring you those coins. Buy those coins. A lot of times it's going to be coins they're going to look ugly, or they're not going to be the best in shape, or they're going to be. In fact, I prefer those coins. All right, I don't like the shiny, brand new 2025, Canadian Eagle special edition, yada yada. I don't give a fuck about any of that crap. You know what I mean? I care more about, getting a 1976, trade unit, whatever fuck coin that's 99.9 whatever silver and looks cool and it's old and I can just fucking clean, and make it look shiny again. So but that's me. All right? Look at this one. My friend out there, Amputee Adventures, all right, gave me this. Look at this, a Bitcoin silver coin. Look at how cool is that? All right, so that's right. So this, I know. Hold on, I know you guys are now. Oh my God, you're flooding the chat. A few things I wanted to get at real quick. Oh yeah, but anyways, Jorge Claudio out there, Jorge, he's basically saying another thing that's a major important aspect to all this. Remember, a lot of people that live in third world countries, they send people to work in the USA or Canada or Europe, and then they got to send money back home. If you worked with any immigrant or any immigrant, they're always sending money back home. Usually they had to send it through Western Union, MoneyGram, or other very expensive ways. Well, now they can send it through Bitcoin, and it's a lot cheaper. And again, not just Bitcoin, I'm sure other cryptos and stuff like that that are going to be cheaper. You know what I mean? Right now, Bitcoin, but eventually, once the people in El Salvador discover Dogecoin, they'll probably use Dogecoin because it's so much cheaper to send. And we're a place in which pennies and cents and things like that count. For sure you're going to get you're gonna get other people using other currencies. So we're starting already there. And yeah, people are saving a lot of money. XRP is nowhere to be found. All right, so FYI, guys. All right, they're already using it to transfer money. The people are using it to transfer money. By the way, people were using crypto to transfer money in Asia and other places for the longest time. I'm glad that it's finally on its way here. So shout out to David. Shout out to everyone out there. So anyways, but yeah, today's show, we're just celebrating Bitcoin, yada, yada, yada. It is what it is. We'll get back to the regularly scheduled program next week, all right? Am I a millionaire yet? Nowhere near it. Nowhere near a millionaire. All right, look, man, everyone knows I came out here with $1,500 to my name, and I was surviving, eating beans and fucking eggs for fucking ever. All right, you guys can look at my videos. You guys know exactly what was going on. But you know what? A lot of you guys, would pay me, all right, in crypto or whatever. And back when it was worth nothing, I was just, had a little here, a little there. I kept saving it instead of spending it. I kept eating my fucking beans, all right, and doing all that. And we're doing pretty good now. Nowhere near financially free, but living in Mexico, I'm pretty financially free. In the US, I'd be pretty fucking broke, all right? But out here, we're doing good. We're doing great. 2 thumbs ups. Am I a millionaire yet? Yeah, I started buying Bitcoin at 100, but I wasn't saving Bitcoin. I was, buying Bitcoin at $100, but using it. So, honestly, I've been buying and using it since forever. You know what I mean? So, no, but I don't have any Bitcoin that I bought back then. No way. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. I would be very fucking rich. You know what I mean? So, no, unfortunately not. And no, I did not lose it in a fucking in a boating accident. Not that. Anyways, don't have any money, but yes, small coins. Like yeah. And again, silver, man. I would highly suggest you go with silver. Silver's better. Silver, baby. Silver has the most up potential. Silver has the most potential going upwards. Let's play a little music while I read this shit. look, David says that in Miami he found silver coins for $26.31. Man, that is bargain. Buy them all. I mean, are you kidding me? If you look right now, the price of we can just check the price, man, so you can see where the fuck it's at. If you can get that shit at that price, I buy it now. Go buy it now. Look at the price. All right, that's like $1.50 over spot. That's great. $2 over spot. Hold on, someone out there. One second.
I got a big green dildo, bring a friend. I mean, seriously. Everybody, long live Ponzi. Everybody, long live Ponzi, right? Never short it. Bitcoin's back, alright.
Hey. But yeah, man, where were we? What was it? Okay, yeah, we were just reading. But yeah, man, I mean, honestly, yeah, that's a good price. So yeah, I mean, basically $1.50, that's like the lowest you're gonna find it. You know, $1.50 over spot. So yeah, the price of gold, you know, I mean, the price of silver is $24.37, and that's $2 over spot. That's great, man. That's a great buy. Because the thing is that, like, they're like in a lot of places, you know what I mean? I don't know if I don't think he's in the chat right now, but Lodak and other people were reporting at one time that some silver was going, even around this price, it was going like a lot more over spot because there was a little bit of a shortage or whatever, you know, so a lot of people are buying silver. So the thing about silver and gold, man, is that this is like worst case scenario. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you know, like if you don't have gold and silver with your Bitcoin, that's like Bitcoin is a flashlight and silver is the battery. You know what I mean? Like, you need them both. You need them both. I mean, you cannot go without, okay? And you also need cash. You should have cash on hand because when the shit hits the fan, people are not going to immediately be using their silver. No, they're going to be using whatever the fuck cash they got until they don't got it, and then they're going to fucking use everything else. So cash, have some of those disgusting pieces of paper on you. You never know. You always got to have those pieces of paper on you because trust me, you know what I mean, when the system goes down, the banks go down. Look, banks have been going down all over the place. Banks go down in Mexico all the time. They go down all over the world. But again, a bank goes down in Mexico and basically you get laughed at if you lose a lot of money because you're a dumbass. It's like, why the fuck were you keeping all that money in the bank? You should have been keeping it like you know how you should keep it, in gold or silver or property or whatever. Really? You trusted that much money with the bank? So, I mean, that's how it is here, bro. You know what I mean? So, and the U.S. is different. In the U.S., it's like, oh, trust all your money with the bank. Until they take it away from you, which, by the way, they take it away from you all the time. They take away safety deposit boxes. They steal your shit constantly, and people are still trusting the banks. I don't know what to say, man. So, the U.S. is same as a lot of Europe and Canada and Australia. I mean, but you're seeing it, man. It's just so obvious, man. When you're seeing everything that's happening right now around the world, everything is so fucking obvious already from a perspective, you know, from a far away perspective, and just knowing, you know, a lot of these fucking things that I've, you know, like at least I've been talking about, and then seeing it all happen, it's like, well, yeah, you know what I mean? This is how it was gonna happen. Most of us that talked about these things, we had no idea how it was going to happen. We just knew it was going to happen. And now that we're here and all these things are happening, it's no surprise anymore, you know what I mean? But it's just like surprising as how it was happening. You feel me? So yeah, it's very, very interesting, man. Bullion is bueno. So yeah, I mean... And so yeah, it's funny, you know. So again, why am I? So the thing is, like, now, look, why do I say no one is talking about Bitcoin? I'm going to show you why right now. This is why. Uno segundo, and I will show you. Let's put a little music in the background. Let's see what other Little Bubble. I love Little Bubble, man. This guy has the best fucking music, man. Oh, here we go. This is a great one. I love this song. We're gonna listen to this one early.
My mama called, seen you on on Twitter, son said shit done changed. Ever since your first song, I bought it all. Ever since the first dip, they said it's Tulip Mania. Now they always say congratulations. Long so hard, avoided liquidation. They ain't ever have the hands or patience. We kept holding, never sold, and look, we made it. Yeah, we made it.
So this is why this is early, guys. Okay, look where we are now. Okay, worldwide. Okay, this is a worldwide Google Trends for Bitcoin. Okay, this is earlier. This is not too long ago, right here. Okay, this is like when right here, the high. All right, we see where we're looking at the thing there. That was when what's his face was on SNL. All right, around that time, and then after that we dumped. But that's when Elon was on SNL. Okay, so look at that. Look how far away from that we are. All right, back here is when Grandma was talking about it, and this is look how quickly on Google Trends things go. Okay, and then look, we were like at 100, bro. This is in 2017. Look at that. Look how popular Bitcoin got at one time. I don't know if you guys remember this. Man, I'm trying to get that. How come I won't do it? Do it. Do it. Well, whatever. Anyways. But yeah, look at that. Look how popular Bitcoin got. This is the bubble popped December 16th. Remember, we saw this earlier. So December 16th, 2017, or around then, that's when the bubble popped, okay? And we were still at 85% popularity on Google Trends. We eventually went to 100%, and then boom, it just dumped. And so look, I mean, and then again, Bitcoin has been not popular for look how long, and nobody has been talking about Bitcoin. Look for how long, right? And look where we are now. We're just a little bit above that. We're like at, again, 28%. Okay, so like 28 on the. So that's where we are, man. You know, we still got a ways to go, and yeah, man. No one is talking about Bitcoin, man. The only ones talking about Bitcoin is us, the people interested in Bitcoin. But what I mean, these are the noobs. The noobs are not talking about it yet. Okay, we need to have the noobs. The newbies. All right, so right now, look at that. Nigeria is where it's the most popular. Austria, Switzerland. I wonder what they know about money. Right? I mean, anyways. I mean, they're getting, you know, anyways, all right. So, but let's look at the US. I'm curious. I wonder where the US is. Look at that. Florida. So yeah, Bitcoin. Look at that. Bitcoin's is getting kind of popular all over the U.S. So this is the Google Trends here still. Anyways, look at that. Oh, AMC just announced that they're going to be putting. They're going to be accepting Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and Ethereum. To pay for movies. So AMC announced that, FYI. Look at that. Ruben says he paid with his Litecoin Visa card. Now, again, the idea would be to pay with straight Litecoin. That's the thing. It's not, you know, having you know, what is it? It's not having a card in between all that. It's not having a middleman. That's the whole idea. We're getting there, but, you know, again, in El Salvador, you can already pay directly. And the middleman in this case is the government using the Lightning Network, okay, to offer liquidity so that payments can be made as quickly as a Visa or MasterCard transaction when buying bananas at the banana stand in El Salvador. So that's the idea, you know, but in the US and in other countries that are first world, you know, they don't want people to start doing that. So what they're trying to do is that, like, saying, hey, you know, get this card in which you get your Litecoin and you cash them out and they go through the bank and then we can look at it and we can tax it and we can this and then put it on the card and then use your card and then, you know, use Visa and then use all these intermediaries to make sure that you can use your crypto as long as everybody gets paid. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's kind of defeating the whole purpose. But I know that that's kind of where we're at now. That's basically there until people start adopting it. And again, people are not going to adopt it until there's no other choice and they have no no other option, no other better option. Remember, this is business 101. At the end of the day, it's how do you win at business? You just make a better, cheaper product. That's it. It's not that hard. You know what I mean? That, satisfies the needs of the people. So in this case, the reason that Bitcoin really hasn't taken off is because it's still not a better product than the banking system that we have. Now, in places that they don't have a banking system, like El Salvador, then this is awesome and it solves the problems like that and gives so many solutions. And no way in hell is El Salvador going to use the bank anymore or ever. Again, 70% was unbanked and they're definitely not going to be on the grid anymore. So with that being said, in a country like the US or Europe or other places that they're stuck to the bank, stuck to that grid, stuck to whatever, it is so much harder, to start using this, for the people to start using it. The whole system has to crumble and the people have no other choice but to use Bitcoin and crypto, and we're still far away from that because there's not, even if you get to the point where you can pay for your groceries with Litecoin at the grocery store, just straight transaction, you're not going to be able to do that in the US without them taxing you for it. You know what I mean? Taxing either you or the grocery. Usually what's going to happen is that, if you're going to pay direct, then how the tax is going to happen is that the tax is going to be applied to the grocery store, and then that tax is going to be added to your final total. So all of a sudden you want to pay with crypto and it's going to be more expensive than paying with cash or some shit like that. And then all of a sudden, you get what I'm saying? That's how you'll be able to pay. But then that person is going to be the grocery store. That's who's going to take the tax. Same as always. Same as always. They're going to be the collector of tax. All right. And so that's it. You know what I mean? So it's trying to avoid all that. There is no tax in El Salvador because it's, it's going around all that. So, yep. You know what I mean? That's where we're at with that. You know what I mean? So.
They were never there, no, yeah. Now I'm jumping out the Lambo, yeah. And my life moves slow-mo, yeah. When I open Crypto Pro, yeah. I'm a genius with the finance, yeah. And I buy it all on Binance, yeah. Everybody wanna have it, yeah. But they didn't buy it last year, yeah.
So right now, Authentic, whatever says, he goes, I want to buy crypto in Mexico, in Merida, whatever. I don't want to use Visa, just direct crypto to merchant. I don't want to have to fill out any Look, I get that. A lot of people want that. But the only way to get that is through adoption. That's it. You know what I mean? And so out here, there is no incentive for people to use crypto yet. But there's really no incentive. In places like in El Salvador, again, that is the best option. So, same as in places like Venezuela and other countries, the option to use crypto is the better option. It is the option. You know what I mean? But in most places, out here, there's absolutely zero incentive. Now, there are people in Mexico like Banco Azteca, the owner of Banco Azteca and shit like that. They're trying to see if they can, bring it out here. But we got to see, at the end of the day, it's a hard sell when people already have a good system. So in Mexico, they have an amazing, great cash system. Sure, it's dependent on the dollar. You get what I'm saying? For pricing. But at the end of the day, once the dollar is detached from the peso, just like it'll be detached from everything else, then the peso should be fine. And again, there's no real incentive. So the incentive is, people wanting to get on the electronic grid. And if they do, then they'll start using things like Bitcoin and crypto, but people don't even know about it here. So in a place like here, there needs to be a big first of all, there needs to be a need. If there is no need, there needs to be a big educational campaign to teach the people why this is better than using cash, or why they should use this instead of the banking system. So like say, hey, accept Litecoin or Bitcoin instead of cash. Not cash. I'm saying instead of using Visa or MasterCard, because if you use Visa or MasterCard, it's going to be for example, if you use Visa and MasterCard, this is going to cost you $1.25. But if you use Bitcoin or Litecoin or cash, this same item is going to cost you $1 and incentivize people by that way, because that, you know what I mean? And then people, you know, just start using, but it's like a whole fucking thing. But at the end of the day, there needs to be a need, and there's no need out here, so it's going to be hard to sell. But you, as an investor, or you as an individual, because everybody brings that topic up, all you got to do is come out here, put your money where your mouth is, and start putting some of these ATMs, the no KYC ATMs, start building some of this infrastructure out here, put some investment into it, and I'm sure that, you know, you can get people to eventually adopt it and give them, you know, all these. I gave you a bunch of free ideas and incentive in order to get the whole thing going. But the thing is that most people don't want to put the work in. They just want to suggest XYZ, or they want XYZ, but whatever. But that's, again, you know, I want all that too, but I know that that's not part of this economy. So I figured out other ways in order to work within the system. You know what I mean? And it works fine. I'm very happy. I'm not complaining. I'll tell you that. But yeah, I totally agree. And again, if it gets so bad in which I know that there's already countries out there like El Salvador that, again, forget Bitcoin and forget that, you know, the El Salvadorian government can fall and there's no more Bitcoin or no more of this, whatever. But the people already know how to use cryptocurrency and they're not going to let it go. And all of a sudden you have a country that knows how to use cryptocurrency and knows how to use all that shit. You know what I mean? Once you learn it, you're not going to drop it. So that's why El Salvador now is piquing interest all over the world and other things, because there's a lot of countries like in Africa that have already adopted, you know, or Venezuela or whatever, that have already adopted some sort of crypto. But again, not many people want to go there. El Salvador, it's a little easier to fucking go down there for the average Joe, and especially as, you know, again, it doesn't matter what happens with Bitcoin or even happens with the Salvadorian government. The people already know what crypto is and how they can use it, and they can provide their own liquidity and yada, 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 and that's it, bro. The rest is history. So it's we're living in a beautiful time. Fuck yeah, we are.
Everyone wishing that they had bought it, but it's too late now because they can't afford it. They were too scared just to buy at the bottom. I was on BitMEX 100x long, and yeah. If you got BTC, then put your ledges to the sky. How can I make sense? I got Satoshis on my mind. Yeah, they called me crazy when I told them they should.
So anyways, do I want to move to El Salvador? No, I am good here. You know what I mean? I'm fine here. But again, you know what I mean? Worst case scenario, you know, I'm not that far away, and we got friends and family out there. So we good. All right? So no, but I'm good here, man. I mean, I'm definitely going to go out there and visit, and I want to see how firsthand all that shit's working. But to me, it's like I don't need to be there. You know what I mean? You don't need to be there. This revolution is happening worldwide, and it's happening everywhere, and it's gonna eventually come here, man. I got faith that Mexico. Look, man, Mexico City is not the only place. Someone in the comments said that Mexico City has like this whole thing. You know what I mean? You know, geared toward educating people on that. Yeah, not just there, but like a lot of the young people, they already know what's up. Mexico's a very young country. There's places like Guadalajara and other places around Mexico where they're adopting this, and Bitcoin's a big thing. But in this part of Mexico, where I am right now, it is like Alabama. You get what I'm saying? Like it's far away from that yet. Eventually it'll get here, but again, how will it get here and all that shit? At the end of the day, it's like this, man. The same way that Bitcoin was able to bank so many people in El Salvador and give them, you know, access to the grid all of a sudden, that is basically how it's going to work in places like Mexico as well. There's a lot of people living in villages, in pueblos, living out there with no access to anything like that, and all of a sudden they're given the option, the bank or Bitcoin. And I think most people, if they're presented, you know, with the education that what Bitcoin is, they'll pick Bitcoin like that, because again, I buy my silver here at the bank. People, this is what they have their savings in. People do not put their savings in Mexico in the fucking bank unless you're retarded. This is what you use, okay? Silver and gold. That's their savings, all right? That's what people do out here and use out here. But anyways, but yeah, you know what I mean? That's it, man. How long have we been streaming? Man, it's already been an hour and 40 minutes. Holy guacamole. This is a long episode. All right, I think we're going to cut it short here. If you got any more questions, anything, I think there's someone on Facebook that was, let's see.
Right now my family's in my inbox asking how to buy. My mama called,
Yeah, exactly. You know, as Richard said, with the U.S. government trying to monitor every financial transaction over $600, which is basically all of them, I believe it will push people towards crypto. Yes, 100%. But again, that's part of the plan. Remember, they're trying to push people towards crypto, make crypto very scary and volatile, and people lose money in there. And then they're going to present them with the Fed coin that's stable and, you know, blah, 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 and DDD, and it's like the dollar, and use this, it's safe, and that's how they're going to get people to buy into that bullshit. But will they buy into it? We don't know. I doubt it, but I know that there will be a bunch of people that, you know what I mean, that will. So it's going to be interesting. So, yeah, man. And that's where we're at, guys. So I think we're going to just, let me see, what song can we end it here? What song can we, I know, this is perfect right here. So, guys, you already know the deal. Thank you so much for watching today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. You guys are freaking unbelievable, all right? I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit the bell icon. Guys, you know, again, thank you so much. If you like this kind of content, please share it, okay? Because that's really what's going to help more than anything else, all right? And that's it. I'll see you here Wednesday. Don't forget to check out my channel. Also, I forgot, before I leave, check out, I got memberships available on this channel, memberships on the other channel available, ways you can support the show. I know a lot of you guys help and support the show. You know, again, you can reach out to me if you want any kind of one-on-one consultation, talking about anything, whether it's this stuff, living out here in Mexico, and everything and anything in between. Check out the links below. Check out my website. Check everything out. All right, and you already know what's up. Stay awesome, and I'll see you guys on the next one. You guys are the best. I couldn't have done it without you.
Bought it. Yeah. Bottom at the bottom, now we're here. Bottom at the bottom, then we rode them all up to here. Bottom at the bottom, now we're here. Yeah. Bottom at the bottom, now the whole team up in here. Bottom at the bottom, now we're here. Bottom at the bottom, then we rode them all up to here. Bottom at the bottom, now we're here. Bottom at the bottom, now the whole team up in here. I was buying alts in the dump. Living at my mama's house, accumulate a monthly. I just bought them all on my phone. Pawned off my laptop to buy more, trust me. They were laughing at me at the lows. I ain't give a damn, I said I ain't selling nothing. Now they always blowing up my phone. Always asking for a loan, always asking me for something. Cause I bought them at the bottom, now we're here. Bought them at the bottom, then we rode them all up to here. Bought them at the bottom, now we're here. Bottom at the bottom, now the whole team up in here. Told us not to max out our accounts. Scam tulip man, you should've sold. Yeah, I told you so. Haters, we just let them run their mouth. Now I wear my ledger on a chain, even when I'm in the house. Cause I bottom at the bottom, now we're here. Bottom at the bottom, then we rode them all up to here. Bottom at the bottom, now we're here. Bottom at the bottom, now the whole team up in here. No corners now, we don't feel that. Fuck a fake out where the real pump's at. We don't like to do a lot of selling. Load up on the bag and get the shelling. No corners now, we don't feel that. Fuck a fake out where the real pump's at. We don't like to do a lot of selling.
Oh, hell no.
Bottom at the bottom.
We were motherfucking yelling cause we
Bottom at the bottom, now we're here.
Now we're here, boy.
Bottom at the bottom, now we rode them all up to here. Bottom at the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah.
Bottom at the bottom, now the whole team up in here. Bottom at the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah.
Bottom at the bottom, then we rode them all up to here. Bottom at the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah.
Bottom at the bottom, now the whole fam here. Woo!